Hey guys, how are you? Andy, super founder, CEO Y2K Credit Solutions. Today, I want to speak to you guys about leasing under your corporation name and having to PG something as a personal guarantor. PG means personal guarantor. Now, this video is going to be more about leasing, whether you're doing a corporate lease for a building or a car for your business. Okay. Now, lately, I'm not sure if you guys have been following the business credit trend of what's going on. But do you remember when we had COVID? A lot of companies were not able to go back to an office to work. There was no in-office work, yet you were working remote. And a lot of companies also closed down and they lost employees. They had to close their business. They weren't able to make revenue. They couldn't sustain. They couldn't pay their employees. So a lot of companies ended up closing. Now these are for the startups, the mom and pop companies, brick and mortars, the smaller companies, not the big companies like Chase, the big corporations, Chase, Wells Fargo, bigger companies. This didn't really affect them. But a lot of the smaller companies, they were either one forced to close their business, let the employees go, or they were working remote. They weren't going back in an office. And up to now, a lot of companies have not gone back into an office working environment. Everyone is still working remote. So what happened when those corporate leases, a lot of companies, if you signed a lease prior to COVID for an office space, you did not PG it. If you had an attorney review your document, your lease terms, you would have seen that you did not PG the lease. You were not personally guaranteeing the lease for the office space. And the lease was under the company's name, solely under the company name of the EIN, right? Now, the terms of the lease, let's say you did a 5-year lease for a company. That company would say, okay, we'll give you 5 years lease. You'll pay first, last security. And let's say we're going to give you a $20,000 credit towards the build out, but you got to stay with that 5-year lease. So you had the option to either hire your own construction company to do your build out for your office space, or the tenant or the owner of the building and their realtors advise you that you have to use their builders for licensing purposes and so forth, right? Same design, but you have to use their builder. All right, that's fine. You use their builder to build your space. You're in your office now, you're doing business, you're up and running, and COVID happened. So let's say you're into the office 2 years into your lease, right? And 2 years into your lease, and then COVID happened, so you weren't going back into an office environment to work. A lot of these companies walked away from the lease, which left the landlord of the building on the hook, one, for the money that they put out for the build out, and two, the rest of the lease, because the lease is spread out to make sure that they make that build out money back over the term of the lease. You were able to walk away from the lease and you didn't have to pay anything. You weren't responsible for anything really. You would just tell the landlord, hey, keep the first and last, and the last of the security deposit to cover my rent. I'm going to be vacating the property, so forth. Same thing, same scenario. You just say you leased the car for your personal use under your business, and your business went on the water, and you had a car. If your business credit was strong, you didn't need to PG it, right? So if you lost a job, you couldn't pay the car got repossessed, or you sold it to like CarMax and made some money, and that was it. It didn't affect your personal credit. Moving forward now, fast forwarding to COVID, we're not in COVID anymore. Businesses started to go back into office, and people are looking for office spaces. But now the landlords are making a lot of people PG the lease themselves. Personal guarantee the lease. So in case something like this, like COVID ever happens again and you walk out of the building, they can come after you personally for the lease. Same thing with a car. A lot of car companies, Mercedes, BMW, especially the high-end car dealerships, or the high-end cars I should say. Honestly, even Toyota does it too. I have a client that did Toyota and it happened to them. A lot of these companies, even though you're putting it under your company's name, company's credit, it's not going to report on the company's credit, and it's not going to report on your personal credit unless you default on a payment. That's when it will report to your personal credit or your business, or both. Now, if your business goes underwater and we have another COVID and you decide to walk out of the lease, now the landlord can come after you personally. All right? Same thing for a car. But with a car, if the car gets repossessed and they sell it to the auction, there's a deficiency balance, they're going to come after you personally. Obviously, if your business is bankrupt or it's closed, they can't get anything out of the business, they're going to come after you personally. We have a client that's going through that situation currently, and I'm going to post the judgment in a later video and explain to you what happened. And now he's buying a home, and he can't buy the home. He can't close in 30 days because his judgment has to be satisfied. And the judgment is a pretty big judgment. All right. So the point of this video is, when people are telling you you don't need to PG anything, times have changed. You are going to be PG anything because landlords and leasing companies and car dealerships and so forth don't want to keep taking losses. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. If you were a tenant, or if you had a property, you were subleasing it to someone, and you depended on that rent and that term of contract to be fulfilled to make your monthly payments, and the tenant got up and walked out and left you high and dry, you will probably do the same thing to the next tenant to make sure you're not stuck high and dry, because who knows if you have the additional source of income to take care of the bill every month out of your pocket. So a lot of these guys on social media say you don't need to PG anything, everything can stand on under the company name. That's not necessarily true anymore. Unless, and the reason why I say necessarily true, unless the company has built and have established credit, you can stand alone. Have a P&L, have a tax return, you can stand alone. However, if it's a new company, open for a couple of years, you are going to be PG in things. I know there's a lot of information on this on the internet, and I see the video you guys send me videos. I see what these people are telling you guys. Do your research, guys. You'll find out it's a totally different story. Half of these guys don't know what they're talking about, and they obviously they haven't even tried it or tested it or been in the situation. They just heard somebody else probably had like a 2-minute conversation about the topic, and they take that and run and try to sell it to you. And you guys are gullible. You soak it up without doing your research. Just like how you could use your phone to scroll Instagram 24 hours a day, you should use your phone. Research these things. I can promise you the answer will be in your first click. All right, if you have any questions about this video, comment, drop it below, and I'll try to get back to you guys. Talk to you soon.